Hi folks, Jeff Romaldi here. Hey, we are going to have some fun today because I am going to teach you about the fastest way possible to build your network marketing business. And I'd like to start off by asking you a question. When you sponsor someone, all right, how much teaching time, how much training time does it take you, all right, for you to be able to give enough information to your new distributor to where they can start sponsoring people? Can you do it in an hour? Most people say no. How about 2 to 3 weeks? Most people say no. How many of you have sponsored someone, 3, 4 months goes by, and they haven't done anything? They haven't sponsored one person. Well, when I ask that question to a group of people, literally at least half the hands in the room go up. And would you like to know why your new distributor after 3 to 4 months hasn't sponsored anybody? It's really quite simple when you hear it. The reason that they haven't sponsored anyone after 3, 4, 5, 6 months, maybe never, okay, is because nobody has taught them something that they can do. Okay, see, it's one thing if you can do it, but if they can't do it, then what happens is your business comes to a standstill, doesn't grow anymore. Okay, so what my main goal here today is to teach you a simple system so that in less than 15 minutes, you can teach your new distributor enough information so that starting day one, they can start sponsoring and building a business. And get this, without them having to virtually know anything. Okay, now I know that's a big statement, all right, but see, with our system, it's as if like we hand you the keys to the vehicle, you can get right in the vehicle, start sponsoring and building a business from day one, okay, and then as you're driving down the road in your vehicle, you can learn all about your company, your products, and your marketing plan, again, while you're sponsoring and building your business. The way that most people do it when they get involved in network marketing, it's as if they have to go up to the car, lift the hood of the car up, tear the engine apart, put it back together before they can start sponsoring and building a business. And folks, doing it that way is painfully slow. And worse yet, most people who do it that way, they fail in the business. So as you see on my hat here, I like to talk to people about owning their life, which simply means having time, money, and health at a time in your life when you can enjoy it the most with the people that you love. Now, if you think about that, you know, most people don't even know one person who owns their life. Let's look at a young person, a millennial. Maybe they have a good job, $50,000, $80,000 a year. So they have some money, they have their health, but they don't have any time because they're working all the time. So obviously they don't own their life. Let's look at an older person, a retiree. They have lots of time now, but their money's running out and their health is getting shot. So it ends up becoming a simple question. How would you like to have time, money, and health at a time in your life when you can enjoy it? Well, everybody says yes to that. But then obviously the next question is, well, how can you do that? Well, can you do it on a job? Well, you know, on the job, you got to commute to the job. Your boss owns you 8, 10 hours a day. You commute home from the job, and then you have your family obligations and things along that line, so you can't do it on a job. People say, well, what about a traditional business or a franchise? Well, they take a lot of time, they take a lot of money, and even if you do succeed in one of those types of businesses, I mean, those businesses own you. You're working 10, 12, 14 hours a day. So, you know, you obviously can't do it with a traditional business or a franchise. So then how can you do it, Jeff? People ask me. Well, I tell them right up front, the only way that the average person can do it, the masses out there can do it, is learning how to build a network marketing business the correct way. But here's the problem. 100% of the people who are not in network marketing don't understand it. 80 to 90% of the people in it don't understand it. You would be amazed at how many company owners don't understand it. They start a network marketing company and they teach their people sales. And as soon as you start talking to a person about a product or a service first, they think you're trying to sell them something, or they think you're trying to get them to sell something, and 95% of them run the other way. Okay, so it just doesn't work, and your business stops growing. And the reason that it doesn't work is because 95% of the people in the world, now remember this stat because I'm going to refer to it a couple times. All right, 95% of the people in the world are non-sales types. They can't see themselves doing that. So guess what? They won't get in your network marketing company and they won't do that. So we don't do it that way, folks. What we do is we use what's called the lifestyle approach. And we do it for a couple different reasons. First of all, 95% of the people in the entire world, they want a better life. They want a nicer home, they want a nicer car, they want to spend more time with their family. There's thousands of things that people want. The other 5%, they already own their life. We say they want to live forever and they make great customers. So remember this point. With our system, okay, we have 100% of the people in the world to talk to, all right, which just is absolutely huge. It makes the business so much more fun and so much more simple. The second thing about using the lifestyle approach is that it's just so simple to learn and it's so simple to teach, because all we do with the lifestyle approach is we talk to people about what they want, okay? Or if you can't talk, or if you're too shy to talk, you can let them read a lifestyle card here, which to see if they want something. And of course, if they want something, okay, then we have them read this book right here. It's called Own Your Life by Don and Nancy Fala, just the first 4 chapters. When they read the first 4 chapters, they understand network marketing. We coined that now they know how to drive. And of course, if you know how to drive, you need a vehicle to drive. So we just send them over to our company website so they can take a look at the company, the product, the marketing plan. So that's it, folks. The whole system boils down to this. Do this, do that, send them to your company website. And if you're talking more than that, folks, well, let me take a step back. I just taught you everything you need to know to be able to build as big of a network marketing business as you want to build in about 30 seconds, okay? And do this, do that, send them your company website. If you can remember that, you can forget everything else that I teach you in the seminar, because that is what the system is all about, okay? So if you're talking more than that, folks, you're talking too much, because if you're talking, the more you talk, the more people think they can't do what you're doing. And the more you talk, the more they don't think that they have time to do what you're doing. So guess what? They don't get in your network marketing company and your business comes to a standstill. So again, do this, do that, send them your company website. That's the whole system, folks. And I know I'm being repetitious here, but it's very important that you get that point, because I want you to understand the simplicity of the system and what it can ultimately do for you and your family's lives. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about the card. Okay, this is the first step in the system. All right, at the top of the card, it says, this is what we think it means to own your life. All right, and it takes them about 30 seconds to read it. It takes me about 45 seconds to say it. Here's what it says on the card. When you subtract out the sleeping time, the working time, the commuting time, all the things you have to do each and every day of your life, most people only have 1 or 2 hours a day to do what they want to do. And then do they have the money to be able to do it? We've discovered a way where anybody can learn to own their life by building a home-based business. And we have a system to do it that is so simple. Anybody can do it, doesn't require selling of any sort. And the best part is it won't take much of your time. Now, folks, when your friend or prospect reads this, all right, they read the first paragraph and they start to nod, because they're thinking to themselves, you know what, according to this definition, I certainly don't own my life and I would like to. But the last sentence, I think, is the key thing, all right? It says it doesn't require selling, all right? Now, for the 95% of the non-sales types, the fact that they don't have to sell at all to be able to own their life in 1 to 3 years is like manna from heaven to their ears, because non-sales types, they hate selling, okay? So that's huge. Last part of that sentence, and the best part is it won't take much of your time, all right? The number one excuse people use not to get involved in your network marketing business is that they don't have the time. So, we didn't take any of the time. So they actually believe you, and we didn't sell them anything. So they actually believe you. So they read this card in 30 seconds and think about what we just accomplished, folks. We just eliminated the 2 biggest objections for people to get into your network marketing business. It's absolutely huge, folks. All right. So this card right here is absolutely, if you use it correctly, it can be worth millions and millions of dollars to you. So that's the first step in the system. Let's take a look at the second step, which is the book, okay? Now, everybody thinks that their vehicle, their network marketing company that they get into, is the hottest vehicle, okay? All right, but let me use a little analogy here. A Ferrari or a Lamborghini, I think you'd agree, they're pretty hot vehicles. would you let your best friend, all right, take a drive around the block in your brand new Ferrari or Lamborghini if they never learned how to drive? Well, I'm batting 100% on that one, folks. I mean, no one would do that because they would probably crash and burn their beautiful vehicle, okay? And that's kind of what happens to most people in network marketing. You know, they get into a network marketing business. They're all excited about the company, product, and the marketing plan. They go over and talk to what could be their best 1, 2, or 3, friends or prospects. And they approach them incorrectly. In some way, shape, or form, they get rejected, and then they end up quitting. They get stopped before they ever got out of the starting blocks. And it's really, really sad because it doesn't have to be that way, folks. When people read the book, okay, they understand network marketing, they absolutely fall in love with it. And most of them, if the timing is right in their life, they join your business. And when they join your business the way that I just taught you to bring them in, which is do this, do that, and send them to your company website, folks, they are so excited because they found something that they can do that you couldn't get them out of your business, with the National Guard. Because when they have that realization that they can't fail in this business, they just won't quit. And they'll go out there and they'll build a network marketing business, even the shyest of the shy. Because remember, folks, it always comes back to how simple the system is. And an 8-year-old, could teach another 8-year-old how to do this, and send them to their company website. So it's absolutely huge, folks. Also, keep in mind that the system is designed, as I said earlier, to be able to talk to anyone in the world. Actually, not talk, but let them just go through the system. So you have everyone to talk to. So what happens is you end up sponsoring 2, 3. I get so excited when I talk about this because it's just, I know what it's going to do in your lives if you implement this system. It's going to change your life entirely. But getting back on point, you have everyone in the world to talk to, so you're going to end up sponsoring at least 2, 3, 4 times as many people as you normally would, all right? And the people that get into your business when you do it this way, they don't quit. And the reason that they don't quit, or at least most of them don't quit, the reason they don't quit is because they came in the right way. They came in wanting a better life. They came in understanding network marketing and what an incredible business model it is when they really understand it. And again, they join your business, they join your business too. And then the very first day that they start in your business, folks, they can start sponsoring and building. Because all they got to do is what? Go ahead, say it, right? Do this, do that, and send them to the company website, okay? So it's huge, folks, and it's absolutely going to change your life if you implement this system to build your business, and more importantly, you teach it to the people who you bring into your network marketing company. Now, how does this math play out in real life, okay? What do I mean by that? Well, I just said that because you have everybody in the world to talk to, you're going to sponsor 2, 3, 4 times as many people, and the people that come into your business, they aren't going to quit because they came in the right way. Well, how does that play out in your network marketing business? Well, let me demonstrate what you can expect by telling you a real life story. I'm going to tell you the story of Don and Nancy Fala, who actually wrote this book called Own Your Life 35 years ago. Okay, absolutely wonderful people, most down-to-earth people you ever met in your life. But they came into the business in 1967. Now think about that, folks. That is some amazing experience right there. And they've been in several companies, but 24 years ago, they joined their last company. It was a health company. And I'm going to refer to the statistics right here because I don't want you to miss this. Because what you're going to hear right here is going to not only blow you away, but it's going to completely change your life and your family's life, okay? So 24 years ago, they come into this health company. They started off by sponsoring 4 distributors, okay? 1 from Italy, 1 from Germany, 1 from Sweden, and 1 from Norway, I believe. Okay, in the last 24 years, over 1 million people have joined their downline organization. And get this, folks, 95% of those 1 million plus people came from the original 4 that they sponsored. Now, I want you to think about that for a second. Does that answer the question as to whether or not you need to sponsor a lot of people to build a huge network marketing business? Well, obviously, you don't. Okay, so let me continue with what they built here. All right. They have 323,000 of those 1 million plus on an auto ship. In other words, they're buying each and every month. Just incredible, okay? Most companies have like a 5 to 10% retention rate where people are buying on auto ship. Don and Nancy have over a 30% retention rate. And again, why is that? Because they brought them in the correct way. They brought the people in by, they wanted something, they wanted a better life. Then they made sure that they were educated by loaning them the book so that they could learn network marketing. Now they knew how to drive. And then they went to the company website and learned all about the vehicle. When you do it that way, folks, it completely changes everything in your business. And in this case, 323,000 people on auto ship buying every month, just incredible. Even more incredible to me is the fact that each and every day, 600 to 700 people are joining Don and Nancy's downline. That's right, folks. Every day, their organization is growing by 600 to 700 people. And here's a very interesting fact. Don and Nancy, they live in San Diego, okay? 90% of the people that are in their downline organization are 6,000 to 7,000 miles away over in Europe. And most of them can't, read, write, speak, or understand English enough to have a conversation with Don or Nancy. So that kind of begs the question, how did Don and Nancy motivate this huge organization that's growing by 600 to 700 people every day? Just astounding. Well, they don't motivate them per se. What they do is, or what they did was, with their first 4 people, they taught them what we call self-motivators that you'll learn in the book, okay? And then those 4, they taught their people, who taught their people, who taught their people these self-motivators. And ultimately what happened is that this huge organization, network marketing organization, was built. But better yet, it basically runs on autopilot. Don likes to kid around, but he's not even really kidding, that he only does 10 or maybe 20 three-way calls or Zoom calls every year, because he couldn't even do more than that if he wanted to, because he can't speak their language and they can't speak his. What a way to build an organization. True financial freedom when you do it this way, folks. Do this, do that, send them to the website. You can, again, an 8-year-old could teach another 8-year-old that. The most shy person in the world can now build a network marketing business. It's very, very exciting, okay? And last thing about Don and Nancy, they built this business without ever talking to one person about a product first. Think about that for a second. All they did was what? This, that, send them to the company website. And guess what, folks? If that's all you do, you can build an organization just like them. And you can build it a lot faster, as you're going to see in a second, because now we did something to speed up the whole process, okay? And so last part, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. No system is perfect, okay? When I first started doing this 20 years ago, the old school way, card, the book, okay? You had to buy cards, obviously, which costs money. You had to buy, I would tell people to buy 5, 10 books so they could keep them circulating, which costs money. You'd loan a book out. Sometimes you wouldn't get it back for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Sometimes you'd never get it back, so you'd have to buy more books. Okay, if you had someone long distance, you'd have to go to the post office, pay the postal fees. That would cost extra money. You'd never get that book back usually. So it was a little time intensive and a little bit expensive, but it was well worth it, because when people use this system, they could start building and sponsoring from day one. And I built, great organizations, just like Don, not as big as Don's, but my people started sponsoring from day one. Just this week, last Tuesday, I had someone come in and like this. I'm already 3 levels deep since Tuesday. Do this, do that, send them to the company website. It makes it go really, really fast. But now that problem is solved, okay? Don and his team, they built an app that allows you to send unlimited cards and unlimited books right from your smartphone with an app. And you can send a card or a book in about 10 seconds, folks. All right? So, it just speeds up everything. And not only that, but you can send the book in the readable version, but you can also send it in the audible version. And that's awesome, because when people are commuting to and from work, they can learn how to own their life in 1 to 3 years by listening to the first 4 chapters of the book. So it's just, now with the app, you can build your business 10 times faster and at a fraction of the cost. And it's 10 times more fun, and it's 10 times more doable. And what's going to happen in the next like 5 years or so, we're going to see people actually building network marketing organizations the size of Don's and Nancy's. What took them 24 years, you're going to be seeing it, people doing it in 2 to 5 years because of the technology, because it just makes everything, so much faster. It's going to revolutionize the industry, folks. And more importantly, it's going to completely change your life and the lives of your family when you start implementing it, because in 1 to 3 years after implementing this, you're going to be able to own your life. Again, have time, money, and health at a time in your life when you could enjoy it the most with the people that you love. Now, that's the first part, folks. Now, the real exciting part, I'm going to open up my Zoom account here, and I'm going to put my smartphone up on the screen here, and I'm going to show you how much fun and how awesome it is for you to be able to build your business using this revolutionary app. Be back in a second, folks. Thank you very much.
Let's do it.